of unemployed people in Zimbabwe. Every place that you have major inflation, you have a lot of unemployed people. In fact, there are people that think there's going to be a big deflation, that's the real threat, that the threat is deflation, right? And there are some smart people who think that the threat is deflation. But what these people don't understand is that we don't have gold as money. We got paper. If you want to define money in terms of gold, in terms of ounces of gold, yeah, there's going to be a major deflation. Inflationary booms are always followed by deflationary busts. So what does that mean? That means during the boom, prices went up in terms of gold. So prices of houses, prices of consumer goods, prices of stocks, they all went up in terms of gold. Now in the bust, they're all going to come down in terms of gold. So there is going to be deflation. Everything is going to be cheaper if you got gold. Right? If you want to buy houses, if you want to buy cars, if you want to buy furniture, if you want to buy stocks, if you've got gold, everything's going to get cheaper. But for most people, they don't have any gold. So what good is that deflation? The reason that you don't have deflation in a fiat world is because governments can print money. And they can print an unlimited amount of money. And so what happens is, even though prices are coming down in terms of gold, the price of the dollar can come down even faster because they can print it. Now people say, well, they can give money to banks, but they can't force the banks to loan it out. It doesn't matter if the banks loan it. The government can just spend it. The government can legislate spending. The government can send everybody checks. You remember how the government sent out all those rebate checks? Right? They can send out bigger rebate checks. You don't think they will? You don't think they'll try sending everybody $1,000, then $10,000, $20,000? They just want us to spend. They think that's what we need. Right? Think about the mentality of the people who are running the economy and what they're going to do. I mean, look at this ridiculous cash for clunkers bill that we just had. I mean, think about the insanity of this program. And they're all like, patting themselves on the back, and now they want to do it with appliances and things like that because it works so well. What did we do in cash for clunkers? We borrowed money, right? The government had to borrow a couple of $1 billion from the Chinese or the Japanese to give it to people to buy cars. Now, the people they gave the money to already owned cars. So what did we do? Well, we destroyed those cars. These are cars that actually worked, that were fully paid for. They had no car payments. They were on the road. And the government said, in order to get this $4,500, you got to pour battery acid in the engine to make sure it can never be used. We've got to destroy a working asset. Here we are, a nation in debt, in serious trouble, and we're going to destroy some of the things that we have. And then the government says, we're only going to give you the money to destroy this car if you go out and buy a brand new one and take on a whole lot of debt. Great idea. Let's take people who have no car payments and saddle them up with a big car payment. Right? And these are people, they were driving clunkers. Why were they driving clunkers? Because that's all they could afford. Right? If they could have had a nice car, they would already own one. But now they got suckered by the government to go into debt. So now we have all these car payments. And the government thinks this is great because we had all these car sales. Okay, fine. Well, what is not going to get sold now? Because now you have all these people that have car payments, that didn't have car payments before. What aren't they going to buy? And what's going to happen when they can't make their car loan payments? After all, they got no equity in these cars, right? They have no down payments. And they stretched up. They say, oh, this is my last chance to get this car. So, I mean, those are the programs that they've got. So as the economy continues to implode, that's what they'll do. They'll keep government spending, more programs, they'll increase, and they will force feed paper money into the economy. And of course, the other thing that happens that people don't seem to understand when it comes to inflation is what happens when the velocity really picks up. There are people all around the world with dollars. And the minute they perceive that the dollar is going to keep falling, they're going to get rid of their dollars. Now, ultimately, dollars have to be spent in America. That's where they're legal tender. So when there's a rush to get out of dollars, people from all around the world are going to be coming to America to buy stuff. But what are they going to buy? I mean, they're not buying the products that our factories are cranking out because the factories aren't cranking them out. So they're going to buy stuff. They're going to buy used things. They're going to come in and start buying up the used cars and used appliances and used computers, whatever we got. So even though we're in a recession, right, where a lot of unemployed Americans who are not spending money, well, the rest of the world is coming here spending it for us. So prices are going up anyway. And of course, the other thing that happens, and people forget about this, that, there's two things. There's supply and demand. Sure, you have a lot of unemployed Americans, demand goes down. But as the dollar collapses, we can't import. So the supply of goods goes down. In addition, as I said earlier, if I am an American manufacturer, or if I'm a farmer or anybody who's producing products, I can ship my products out of the country because demand is there. And so even though people in America don't have money to spend, whatever they do buy is going to cost a lot more because the supply could be dropping faster than the demand. Now, people think that's impossible. They think, well, if the U.S. economy is in recession, the whole world has to be in recession too. After all, we're the leader. That's wrong. The whole world can grow even though we're in recession. In fact,